welcome to my review of Hollow Knight. It's not a visual novel. Or from Japan, yeah, we kinda got stuck on that for a few months, didn't we? Hollow Knight was made and published by Team Cherry, an indie dev from South Australia. It was released in February of this year. As far as I know, Hollow Knight is the only game Team Cherry has made so far, and it seems to have been rather successful. So successful that a review for it probably isn't necessary, but I wanted to talk about it anyway because despite my typically negative outlook, I actually do enjoy praising games that I like. Yeah, I really like Hollow Knight. I think you should buy it and play it right now. But that's not a very convincing argument, so if you want me to persuade you further, I'll do my best. Hollow Knight is a Metroidvania-style game, a genre which I honestly don't have much experience with. And by that, I mean I'm pretty sure I've never played a Metroidvania game before. Yeah, that's right, you've been watching game reviews from a filthy casual this whole time. Forget it, you all knew that anyway. Our story begins with, is that Reaper? No wait. This is a different Pale Swordsman. Way to give me flashbacks to one of my worst reviews, though. Why are the screenshots pixelated? How did I manage to suck that much? Anyway, you arrive at a town called Dirtmouth. You meet an old guy who talks about how the town is nearly empty, and you also find your first save point, the bench. More on that later. What you're really here for is the Hallownest Ruins, a massive underground area to explore. The story from then on is not told directly. Hallownest is a long-abandoned kingdom, and you're only given hints about its history through character interactions and relics scattered about. I won't spoil the end, though, because, well, I'll explain that in time. Anyway, the game recommends that you play with a controller. Playing with the keyboard is possible, and that's how I played for a few hours because I was too lazy to dig out my controller receiver. The keyboard was fine, but I will admit it does feel better with the controller. You attack with X and jump with A, standard stuff. As the game goes on, you'll gain more abilities that you find through exploration. The caverns are full of enemies to fight, and killing them rewards Geo, the game's currency. Each time you land a hit, you'll be given Soul. You can use Soul to heal damage or as an attack later on. Speaking of damage, you can only take 5 hits before you're done for, so be careful. What happens when you die? Kind of a deep question, not sure if I can answer that, but when you get killed in the game, you get benched. Well, okay, you end up at the last bench you saved at. Benches are usually pretty far removed from the action, so they act as safe spots and punishment for fucking up because it's gonna be a long walk to get back to where you were. They also heal you and act as a place to update your map. See, every new area has a map that you can buy when you find the map maker. When entering a place you've never been before, you go in blind. Your map only updates to include the places you've been when you stop at a bench, which is good because you're gonna need that map to get back to the spot you died at. And as loath as I am to say a game is the Dark Souls of whatever genre it may be, Hollow Knight has one thing in common with it, that being you lose all your money when you die and have to make it to where you died to get it all back. The main difference here being your death spawns a dark spirit-looking version of yourself, and you basically have to beat the shit out of your own ghost to get back all your hard-earned Geo. But speaking of beating the shit out of things, it's a lot of fun to beat the shit out of things in this game. The combat is great. There are a few difficult spots, usually in the boss battles. It's fair to say I died plenty of times, but I never wanted to give up, even when I was pissed off. No joke, one boss had me so hyped up that after I finally beat it, I had to get up and go for a walk just to calm down because of how much I was shaking. I think the last time a game made me feel like that was when I beat Sans in Undertale, so it's been a while. As you explore, you'll come across unique creatures, hidden treasures, and even some friendly faces. Like I said earlier, there's a map maker that you can find by looking out for his strewn about bits of paper. There are also shopkeepers that sell you items to help you out. Something you'll probably buy a lot of are charms. They can be found around the map, but many of them have to be purchased. The charms will give you different combat advantages or special abilities, although I have to say, I find it annoying that you have to use up a charm slot just to be able to see where you are on the map. The map itself becomes pretty gigantic, so there is a way to reach places you've been slightly quicker. There are these things called stag stations where a giant stag beetle will take you from point A to point B. Oh yeah, I guess I forgot to mention that all the characters are bugs. And your sword isn't actually a sword, it's a nail. The fact that everyone's a bug seems to just be an aesthetic choice because it doesn't really seem tied to the story. Doesn't matter to me though, because this game is beautiful either way. Every area, every sprite, every animation, it all just looks incredible. The sound design is spot on too. The characters all talk in a fake language, but it sounds natural. The noises the monsters make and the sounds when you hit something are just right. The music is good, and it sticks out when you get hit and it goes near silent. It really drives home the idea that you've been hurt and need to fight back immediately. Everything just works together, and it all adds up to Hollow Knight being a fantastic, fun game. I ended up playing it so much that I got some serious game transfer from it and started seeing it everywhere. Now, some may consider that a negative, but I still had a great time anyway. But I can't say it's perfect. This may just be where my natural affinity for finding bugs in any game comes in. How fitting for this. Unfortunately, I don't have a recording of this, but the game at one point glitched and I started falling through elevators into the dark, unloaded sections of an area. That was thankfully fixed by reloading the game. However, that wasn't the only bug. Here's where I come clean. I did not finish this game. I wanted to, believe me, but I couldn't. Here's what happened. I'd been playing for about 30 hours altogether. I died. The game crashed. I restarted the game. My save file was gone. Despite my best efforts, I couldn't recover it. I was devastated. I loved playing the game, but all my time was wasted. I had explored so much. I was having so much fun. Only to look where my save file was and see... This bitch empty! And I know now that making a backup of my save file could have prevented this, sure. But I should be able to play a game safe in the knowledge that it won't glitch out and delete my save for no fucking reason. Listen, I really enjoyed Hollow Knight for the time I had with it, but that shit is game-breaking. I can't just go back and try to replay more than half the game after that. Maybe I'll pick it back up after a year or so when my memory of it has had time to fade so I can play it sort of fresh, I don't know. The funny thing is, I started writing this review before my save got nuked, and I was just happily gushing about the game and how much I liked it. But I figured the review would take a while to get done, because obviously I'd want to finish playing the game first, and I was having such a fun time with it. Then I find out my save is gone for good, and the script was done within the next hour. So yeah, great game. Make backups. I'm gonna go play a visual novel now, because apparently branching out is something I shouldn't do, as it only ever seems to lead to heartbreak.